assumption that you make before answering question. We all do it. It's like a default setting, and often it leads us to the wrong answer. So for you to start to develop a knowledge base and technical support for the new procedure, it means you understand what the procedure is, you understand the benefits, you understand the risk, so you are developing a knowledge base for it. Conduct a pilot test of the new procedure. For you to conduct a pilot test for anything, you have understanding of it. So A is the most appropriate option here. It's the most appropriate. So when you see any question, check what goes on in your mind quickly. This has to be, because you have a minute and 2 seconds for each question, at least a minute and 2 seconds for each question. So like quickly, if you start thinking, ask yourself, what is the assumption? Have I made any assumption when you look at the option? I hope that's helpful. We have 11 questions today. So 3, in the implementation phase of a project, the project manager receives news that a team lead will be leaving the organization. The project sponsor has been made aware and has suggested a replacement. What is the first action the project manager should take in response to this change? A, determine the competence levels of the suggested new resource. B, review the project baselines to assess the impact of the change. D, conduct the change document the change according to the change management plan. And D, edit the communications management plan to reflect the change. So over to you. I'll count my 15 now. 1. After 15, then we look at the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So let me check what my people have chosen. A, C. Oh no, this is the answer. B. So the options are A, B, C. Okay. Let me pick someone to justify their answer. Absa, you said C. Why C? Hello, Absa, can you hear me? Hello, Absa. All right. Absa doesn't want to talk. Jedediah, why C?
Okay, so of all the options that are available, I chose C because this is a clear change that has occurred to the team and also to the project. And so one of the first things will be to refer to documentation. And per the change management plan, there will be some level of communication on how to handle this change. And so adding it to a change log or adding it to a change log would help to follow the plan that has been put in place in order to respond to this kind of change.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let me look at color. You chose B. Why B?
So I chose B because the first thing that a project manager would do in this case is to assess the impact of this change. This is how I see it.
Oh,
Thank you.
welcome. Yaira, you chose A.
Yeah, I chose A because this change is not on the project itself, but the project team. So I look at it as the impact will be on the team, not on the project itself. So if the replacement of the team lead is as equally competent as the previous one, the impact will be minimized. But if the competence will be less, that will be where there will be a risk. So based on that deduction, I will first need to determine if the competence level is the same as the one going out. That's why I choose A.
Please, can you clarify what you meant by the change will not be on the project itself, but on the team?
What I mean by that is that, for instance, if it's a construction project, maybe I didn't put it right, but if it's a construction project or it's any kind of project, when you are making a change in the project, like when you raise a change request, for instance, maybe there's a change in the supply of a certain material.
Oh, Yaira,
Yeah.
don't set your own question. This question is clear. The project manager receives news that a team lead will be leaving the organization. One of the hands, your team member, one of them will be leaving. So it's not about material. It's not about, anyway, to save time. Remember the exam, 50% is on people, 42% is on processes, 8% is on business acumen. People will do the project. You are going to work with people. So whatever affects your team members, affect your project, is directly proportional. It's not even inversely proportional.
Okay,
so
it's clear.
I'm supposed to do something and I don't do it. It will affect the timeline. It will affect the morale of the team and all that.
Okay.
All right, so let's check what the answer is. It's B. Carla chose B, right?
Yes, thank you.
Let me clap for you again. This thing, all of you in the group, when you don't get questions like this right, my heart aches, like, because we've said this over and over and over and over that if something happens, you need to assess, you need to review to be able to determine the impact before you can start solving, you know? To understand for you to be able to document. Maybe I'm not saying it well enough. Or anyway, question 4. A key software development team is discussing the complexity of implementing a new feature with the project manager 2 weeks before the kickoff. The team expresses and concern regarding the feasibility of delivering the feature on time. The project manager wants to ensure that the team can realistically deliver the feature as planned. What is the appropriate action to take? Read the question carefully. Know that this is pre-kickoff meeting and the project manager just wants to ensure that the team can realistically deliver the feature as planned. A, implement a prototyping study and then assess and review the results. B, hold a meeting with the executive sponsor to discuss the team's concern and revise the project charter. C, ensure that the concerns are documented in the issue log for later review. D, perform a SWOT analysis to start identifying threats and preventive action. I'll count up to 15 again. Adams, you raised your hand. Is it about this question?
No, about the last question, but it's all right. Thank you.
Okay, let's answer this, then you can.
No, it's okay.
Okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We are 18 on this call. And how many people answered? 9. Okay, let's check what the answer is. The team expresses concern regarding the feasibility of delivering the feature on time. So let's pick the first. Let's pick D, because now we know the answer is A. Perform a SWOT analysis to start identifying threats and preventive action. There's nothing here that says anything about threats, or you preventing threats. It's looking at, okay, how realistically can we develop this on time? That's what the question is about. And the project manager is trying to assure the team, or determine whether the team can realistically deliver the feature as planned. And this is 2 weeks prior the kickoff meeting. And you know what the kickoff meeting is? The kickoff meeting, that is where you meet with the key people. You let them, so they are aware. So within the team, the project team and the team that is external, maybe within the other functional units within the organization, will now get to know that, okay, this team is going to manage this project, and this is the vision or the objective of the project, and these are the team members. And then the key people, like the sponsor or the chief finance officer, they will also be at the meeting. Okay, I have to be informed. Right at the meeting, the team members will know what they're supposed to do. There would have been some form of team charter that would have specified the roles and the responsibilities of what the team members would do. All right. So you have 2 weeks to this. So at this point, you have some people at hand. You don't need SWOT analysis. Those people you have that are going to work on the project, you want even to check, you want to convince them that they will be able to deliver. So it's not, you are not identifying threats. All right. C, ensure that the concerns are documented in the issue log for later review. If you documented the concerns in the issue log, you have not addressed the concern. You have not provided assurance for the team. And you see, when they try it out, you can determine the areas that they need support and try to put the support in place before the kickoff meeting and then before the actual work. So it's not by documenting it's not by documenting their concerns. B, hold the meeting with the executive sponsor to discuss. How do you, because whatever fear they are trying to express has not been verified. So you can't, what will you go and say? They are saying, I think they are, what exactly are you going to tell the executive sponsor? sometimes when you read the options, there may not be one option that says this is how you are going to solve the problem, but one of the options will make sense out of the 4 options. Prototyping is a smaller version of the whole that you are going to develop, and it gives you room to be able to check features. Oh, okay, it's a car. You can open it. It will be a miniature, like something smaller of the bigger version that you are going to work on. So whatever challenges you came up with in developing the smaller version, you will be able to address it. If you find it easy, it's like a caterer that they've invited to an organization to come and supply food, but they say prepare sample. The sample is a prototype. And often people say that caterers, they will put their best in that sample, but when they eventually get in, they reduce it. But that's not what we are talking about here. But the prototype is the sample, and that is what decision will be based on. All right. So the prototype would help you study and assess whatever their worries are, and then come up with, if it is really tangible, to address it. If not, assure them. So the best option is A, not B, not C, not D. Do you have any question? Or you want to say, no, Jumoke, that cannot be right? Are you in agreement with me? Hello. Yes, Aremu.
When you're also prototyping, it gives you, if there is any challenges during prototyping, you could assess, you could modify. So that give you the real, what would I call the real, how will I put it there? The real base value of what you intend to produce there. So whatever that challenges or whatever that needs to be modified during the prototyping, you could have done. So that will also make the project team, their fear, their concern be, make that, oh, you can actually do that during the prototyping. Whatever challenges they will be able to, the challenges, their concern may be those of completely. So you can give them confidence that they will be able to do it during the real time.
You are right.
Just a contribution. Sorry.
You are right. Thank you. Do we have anyone that wants to add to it, or ask question, or seek clarification? All right. So when you're answering the question, just look for the best fit. Okay. Sometimes all the 4 options may actually be sensible, but in different scenarios or in a different context. Let's go to question 5 quickly. A pharmaceutical company is preparing to launch a new bioengineered medical service, but faces delay due to strict regulatory approvals in a key market. This setback could affect the global rollout timeline. What should the project manager do? Explore launching through an alternative market with faster approvals. B, proceed with the launch while awaiting regulatory clearance. C, request executive leadership to advocate for an expedited review. D, identify legal strategies to accelerate compliance requirements. Do you want me to count to 20, or I should count to 15?
20.
It's tough.
Okay, so let me start counting to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's look at the options. Hey, okay. It's like, all right, I see two, what is it? Is it skilled dancers? Oh no, I see D, B, C, A. Let me start with B. Adams, why did you go for B?
Yeah, I think since it will affect the global rollout timeline, as you are preparing to roll out at the same time, because the legal regulatory clearance, you can be perfecting your legal clearance, which by the time you roll out, everything will have been perfect. That's just my take.
But the question said that. Let's read the question again. It said that you were preparing to launch a new bioengineered medical, but faces delays due to strict regulatory appointments in a key market. Approvals. So when you say proceed with launch, where would you be launching?
Okay.
You want to launch in spite of clearance. Is that what you are saying? Or you are
No.
hoping you will launch as you are preparing to launch, the approval would have come.
It will have come out.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I've seen two. APSA, are you there now? APSA Accra chapter. What does APSA stand for? APSA. Oh, APSA, don't be doing like that. You don't want to talk. Should we remove you from the call if you don't want to talk? Vincent, you are muted.
Yeah, good evening, man.
Vincent, please tell us why.
Why I chose A, right?
Yes.
I chose A because one, since there's a strict regulatory approval issue in a key market, and this is something that would affect the global rollout timeline. I think the proactive measure here is to explore alternative markets that would be easier. The approvals or regulatory approvals there will be easier and faster to release that product. This is not a product that is meant for just one market alone. It's a global product. So I think exploring other markets that is easier to enter is best, and it's a wise thing for the PM to do. That's why I went for A.
Okay. All right. Good one there. Thank you, Vincent. Carla, I see you went for C.
Yes, I went for C because what is making the delays is the regulatory approvals, and this we cannot go forward with that. And the leadership part, they can advocate and try to make the review faster. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I like the way you all had your perspective to the answer. But like, was it Vincent? Vincent and AFSA went for explore launching through an alternative market with faster approvals. The fact that the regulatory approval is strict doesn't mean they are the best. You understand what I'm saying? And if you have spent money, like, in fact, I should not add anything to what Vincent said. He has, it may be a key market, but then the other markets, so that globally people don't suffer because why? Because of the key markets with regulatory
Yeah,
approval.
this alternative market, I disagree, because the question said this setback will affect the global rollout timeline. So it's globally. So we can't choose a segment of a market.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this key market, is it the whole market? Is it not also a segment?
Which one? The global.
Approvals in a key market. It's not a global.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
You have decided to go through the key market, right? Like, let's say you have telcos, and A is the key one, then B, like in that grid, you wanted to launch through A, but A has a very strict regulatory approvals. C, the project manager.
So you can decide to use alternative markets.
Yes. You, the project manager, the assumption is you are being ethical. I said it at the beginning that you're a project manager that is ethical and wants to give value to your customer. You want to make money. So what is the essence of you investing so much money in a bioengineered medical device? That will be a lot of money. And because one key market has the tendency to delay the launch or the rollout, and you just fold your arms and say, okay, whenever you are ready, when there are alternatives. Edwin has raised his hand. Yes,
Yes,
Edwin.
please. Sorry to interrupt. I think I was trying to agree with Adams. The fact that it's a pharmaceutical company means that we usually with this, assuming it's a drug, it usually goes through the regulatory approvals, which is key to ensure that your product will meet the requirements. Because prior to the project being maybe prior to the project initiation stage, they consider that particular market as being a very important market before the project started. So why do we say because of regulatory approvals, we are trying to go to other markets for faster approval?
What is wrong in you going for faster approval? The way you even came cry is very funny. See, Edwin, you wanted
Yes.
to go with a key market, but did you listen to what I said? That as a project manager, you have to see yourself as an ethical, business-minded person that wants to get value for his or her customer or sponsor. So the assumption is if you are ethical, you have gone through everything. So you going through the regulatory approvals is just, what's the word? Fulfilling righteousness. You will pass it. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not like, we don't know whether we will receive approval or not, and we are in their hands. You have done everything you are supposed to do. But just like checklist, they would have to also look through it to approve, So if they are not approving, you can't tie your money down. You look for alternative. People come to me that they want to have their training with me. And they ask me, Jumoke, how is your training? We've heard so much about you. In fact, some people chatted with me in 2023. They went to the chapter office. Then they gave them my number. Then they will chat with me, and then they realize that I chatted with you 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I said, yeah. But when they chat and they ask me how much is the training, and I tell them, say, you are too expensive. I even saw 1,500. They go and do the 1,500 for the 2,000. When they fail, they come back. So they will pay the 2,500 there. Then they will come to me again and pay my own too, because I will not spare you that because you have paid somewhere, you should not pay the due. You understand what I'm saying? So they had the choice. They just felt that, oh, you are too expensive. Let's go for the cheaper one. However, some people too have gone to the cheaper one and they have passed. You understand? So if you have done your due diligence, because when it comes to PMP, what I've realized is that some people wish, as if you can open their head like this and put the PMP there, and then they will just go. Like somebody will do something to help them so that they wouldn't have to put in the work. So if you realize that you have to put in the work, somebody pushes you a bit, you are good to go. So let's take it, let's make Okin as the key market. And I do have a strict, stringent way of going about the PMP that increases the probability of you passing the PMP. But maybe you have done your own homework, you are putting in some effort, and you decided to go for a lesser market. What stops you from doing that? What stops you from doing that? In fact, this faster approval crack would be as a result of processes put in place that maybe they are not doing it manually. That's why it's faster. Vincent is coming back. Yes, Vincent.
Sure, I think now.
Okay, man. I just wanted to add something, so maybe we'll gain clarification from how I understand this. Now, let's assume I have a pharmaceutical company here, resident in Abuja, Nigeria, and this is where I produce. And I just developed this drug or this device, and it's a global market. I'm targeting a global market. I'm targeting Ghana. I'm targeting Togo. I'm targeting the whole of Africa. And the regulatory approvals for, let's assume, Lagos, which is my key market because of the population and all that, is really, really tight. And maybe due to government bureaucracies and all that. And I know I've gone through all the processes. I know my device is okay and it's going to meet the whatever criterias or whatever they want to check. And I see that, oh, Lagos is just being too difficult. And then Accra, Ghana has a regulatory system that is easier, maybe technically savvy, and is better. And I know that Accra needs this thing, and it's a global product. I could go to Accra for approvals. And if Accra gets me the approval faster, why not? Just because Lagos has a larger market, the numbers, the population, where I'm going to make much money, doesn't mean I'll have to wait for Lagos and keep other smaller markets waiting. I would just use Accra and go ahead. When Lagos comes out, fine, then I continue with Lagos market. If Abuja markets, if Abuja has a different regulatory this thing, fine, I wait for them and I get it. So I take advantage of markets that are ready to accept my device and not just tie myself down to Lagos because Lagos is my key market and has the population and I'm going to make more money from there. That's how I see it. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Vincent. This question is on the business acumen of the project manager. Remember, it's 8% of your exam. Let's go to the next question. During testing of a project component, a senior tester discovers a functionality that will ensure the future performance of the project solution. This will create a change in scope. Which type of change request should be made to include this functionality? Preventive action, corrective action, defect repair, D, scope update. So this one, I'll count 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. We know what preventive action and corrective actions are. Preventive, you prevent the error from occurring. All right. Corrective, the error has occurred and you are correcting it. Defect repair, it means there's a defect and you are repairing it. Scope updates. Which type of change request should be made to include this functionality? It's just scope, because it is there. This will create a change in scope. Then we'll go to the next question.
Bravo.
Do you have question on this?
This is English. Oh.
I'm telling you,
No,
and sometimes you just have to pick each of the option and understand what each of the option is before you choose your answer.
Sure.
Because preventive, if you chose preventive action, you are saying you don't want the scope to change. 7, a project manager is using a requirement traceability matrix to track project requirements. During the so this is where, if you don't know what requirement traceability matrix is, you will write it down. You will write the traceability matrix down and read about it to track project requirement. During the project, they discovered that some requirements lack clear traceability and are not linked to any project deliverables. What it means is, when you collect requirements from stakeholders, when you are defining scope, you should be able to trace the requirements to deliverables. And that is what the requirement traceability matrix is. If you're unable to trace requirement to any deliverable, then it means you are likely going to have a scope creep. When something creeps, it means it gets in unnoticed. That's why it's scope creep. So if you have a requirement, let's say you are building, and my favorite example is you went to a community, you are building 3 bedrooms because the national service personnel, when they come, they don't stay because there's no accommodation. So the chief has given a land and they've taken you as a project manager. So you came around, you asked the chief, how do you want the apartment to be? So I want 3 bedrooms. And some other stakeholders also came. So it make each room suit so that each room would have its bathroom. So that in case both genders are posted at the same time, they would be able to take their bath and say, okay, that is one. Every room will have its bathroom and toilet. Okay, then they should have a common room hall where we'll give them some small TV so that after the day's work, they can relax. Okay, they should have storeroom where they will be putting their fresh or food stuff. Okay. See, when you finish the compound, don't put concrete everywhere. Leave a portion so that they can do gardening. They can plant their pepper, cocoyam, and all what I have said are requirements. And then somebody came and said that, Daching in future, when we have money, somebody can have money and have a helicopter. So we want the roof to be a telepad. And you know that the budget you have or the initial scope in the charter, even if, let's say, you don't have written charter because it's a community and they are not literate, all right? You can document whatever they are saying and it to be charter. You can't trace the telepad to anywhere in the project, one, because of the cost and everything. So you will gently tell the person, oh, to have telepathy is nice, so, but this project will not answer to that for now. So you'll be able to trace, and the chief has said 3 bedrooms. So if somebody said bathroom in each room, you can still trace it to each of the room. If somebody says hall, you can trace it, okay, for the 3 rooms. So anything you can't, any requirement that you can't trace to any deliverable, you reject it. And the requirement traceability matrix would help you to be able to link the requirement to deliverables.
To source of origin.
Kind of. So what should the project manager do next in this scenario? Remove the untraceable requirement from the project scope. Seek additional funding to address the untraceable requirements. Conduct a detailed analysis to establish traceability for this requirement. Document untraceable requirements and report the issue to the project sponsor. What is the answer? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Who is a Zoom user? Zoom user, your answer is A. Why did you go for A?
Maybe from your explanation.
All right. C is the answer. Conduct, and I'm happy most of you actually got it. That's a relief. Conduct a detailed analysis to establish traceability for this requirement. Establish does not mean they will be there. In establishing, you can discover that they are not there, you take them out. Question 8. A customer is contemplating adding new features to the project deliverable. Before a project team member starts working on these new features, what is a mandatory step? Mandatory step. A, gain approval from the project manager. B, ensure the change control board approves. C, gain approval from the project sponsor. And D, ensure key subject matter experts approve. So when we say something is mandatory, what does it mean?
Compulsory.
So now answer it. So this one, the 15 will be fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hey, everybody just be. Let me clap for you. Oh, that's nice. Oh, did anybody choose anything? Okay. All right. So how do you feel because all of you are choosing B? Oh, Priscilla, it was after the clap your B came.
My network was jamming up. Sorry.
Question 9. A project manager is issuing a probability impact matrix to assess project risk. They identify a risk with a high probability and a high impact. What is the most appropriate action for the project manager to take regarding this risk? Monitor the risk closely without immediate action. Mitigate the risk to reduce its probability or impact. Accept the risk as it falls within acceptable project tolerance. D, transfer the risk to a third party through insurance. What is the right answer here? So I'll count again to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make me happy again. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Priscilla, have you sent yours before?
Yes, please. I chose B. Or I didn't complete.
Hey, everybody again, no? Or you people are discussing somewhere?
No.
Mitigate the risk to reduce its probability or impact. Risk management is defined as you increasing the probability of the impact of the positive risk and reducing that of the negative. So when you mitigate risk, mitigation is to reduce the impact. So thank you for getting this right. Now let's go to the 10th question. A close-knit project team in the execution stage has a team member who complains about the management of the project, which is reported to the new project manager by another team member. How should this new project manager respond? So a close-knit project team in execution stage has a team member who complains about the management of the project, which is reported to the new project manager by another team member. How should this new project manager respond? A, evaluate the current strategy for involving stakeholders to determine how to address this issue. B, plan a meeting with the project team to review the current team charter and ground rules with a focus on clarifying expectations for communication and teamwork. C, hold a team morale building event to improve team culture. D, have one-on-one conversations with each team member to gather their input on how to handle the issue. So what's the answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is it that the questions are now easy or?
I think so.
No, I don't think so. Our brains are sharper now.
Okay, so the last question. A project is started with an approved scope. During the implementation of the project design, a team member raises a concern that the product will fail to meet certain requirements in specific situations. Fixing this problem will lead to an expansion of the project scope and increased expenses, and it would also cause the project to surpass the deadline. The project sponsor do not have additional funding to support the project. What should the project manager do first? A, perform risk management analysis. B, perform integrated change control process. C, crash the schedule. D, contact the customer and negotiate for risk acceptance. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, Ponsa, what's the answer to which one? Yeah, Posan, you know what? After the live, send me message so that I will share the Zoom link with you. It's the same link we use every week, Monday, 6:30 p.m., so that you can join. Okay, so the countdown start from 5 to 15. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 with the one per account. And I'll be sharing the recording on my YouTube. So I can share the link for this recording with you as well. All right, so how many people answered? Yeah. Anyways, the answer is A, perform risk management analysis. I'm very happy. It's not that it's easy, but probably the way you are reasoning, assessing the question is getting better. And this is what the simulator actually does. If you're able to get the simulator and you answer, questions by questions, you do 100 in 120 minutes, you do 180 in 230 minutes, you start thinking the PMI way. So we've come to the end of today's questions. You may follow me on social media, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm there as Jumoke V4. On TikTok, I think I changed my name. I've changed my name to Coach Project Management or something. And then on Twitter is Jumoke V2. On WhatsApp, this is my WhatsApp channel. Andrew, I see your hand.
Yeah, so Jimmy, a quick one. On the, just before you go, on PM Aspire, if you run any of the simulation exam, and then if you finish, it marks it for you, gives you the correct answers and all that, are you able to probably see explanations of the correct answers? Why maybe a particular answer was
Yes.
chosen?
Yes. When you submit and it marks it, or at the extreme right, there is a button details. When you click on it, it will show you for
Oh,
each of
really?
the question. Yeah, really.
Okay, then I guess my own, I try to just look around the mark report, and then I didn't see anything of such. I will go over it again and possibly share
Yeah.
the script.
Where you will see, let's say you did 100 questions, you see all the 100 questions, and it will tell you, it read you got this one wrong, you got this right.
Yeah.
When you go to the extreme right, do you do it on your phone or laptop? Andrew, do you do it on your phone or on your laptop? Okay. Andrew, you will see it on, it's there.
Okay, that's fine. I'll check it.